Hi. It's Miss Polly. It's nice to see you guys again. Last week was a little busy, so we missed some videos, but we know we're gonna add them up this week. That is our goal, and I will be really focused on that because we wanted to keep up with our 3 days a week. So forgive me. I know, but a lot going on, guys. I also applied to be on a TV show, and they are considering me as applicant, so that is a good process. So I'm excited about that, and that obviously has to deal with more video and more more interviews. So as I'm doing that process, obviously I'll be sharing how I contribute to YouTube and how I'm trying to build my YouTube platform and things like that. And so once again, we are going to be focused on giving out good material, good content. It's always about not necessarily the amount of content, but necessarily how you have the wealth of content. And so I also have been on some podcasts. Oh my gosh, I put some podcasts. So I'm gonna put together a little reel or whatnot, but it's gonna be basically about all the podcast people I've been going to. Their different podcasts. I will say shout out to uh, E Black TV, Chef, Chef Pony, uh, and to Jen on the Block. Obviously, there's quite a few more, but I'm going to make a whole reel about them. Those are the ones that when I first started, I was welcomed with open arms, and I enjoy their content, and I enjoy the debate because for me, it's I know it's a little glare with these glasses, so I'll take this off. But for me, I enjoy that we don't have the same mind because I learn from those people and I learn how other people think. And then I am able to help others and what their journey is because I know where they're coming from. I can better understand and I'm better equipped to deal with things. Hiding from what I don't like or what I disagree with is not the way. Learning more about you and why you've gotten there, learning how that works and possibly how I could see myself do that. And then worrying about, how can I approach people like this who maybe don't agree with me, and how can I better explain myself so they can also have the same opportunity that I have. So, which is to get to know people and just be able to really build big, good communities wherever they are. So let's do this today. So last night I was on a podcast. Okay. And the podcast, I don't think they put it out right away, but on the podcast, I was speaking about, well, the comment was the international or passport guys, passport gentlemen. So if you don't know what that is, basically it's about how men are going international to find other partners because they may have those contributes they like. It doesn't have to be always physical. It could be traditional, vibes that they get from those other women on those different cultures. And we were really going at it. So I want you guys to go check that out. I will put a link on here. I will do it. I will put a link on there if they have their video up so you can go there and watch their videos. Like I said, you guys know I'm horrible with names and I'm not going to split out, and I'm on 2 cameras right now. That's probably not going to work out. But like I said, I was invited. I'm so happy to be invited, and I love the discussions and getting to meet the people on their panels. So this is a great opportunity. But with that conversation came up kind of today's topic, which was more about a list. Okay. If you don't know, I'm telling you now, it was a list. Okay. So the thing is, we want to talk about how to find partners because a lot of people are saying they're struggling with that. A lot of people are saying that's hard for them to find partners out here. How do you find good partners? How everybody it has these guards up, and so how do you find these good partners? How do you find these people? Do they exist? Is that a fairy tale? Emmy and Jen, I'm gonna tell you, we are different from what we desire, but we also And I'm not saying it always makes a difference, but it can make a difference. We are in two different age uh arenas, and she's learned more than I have. She's done more than I have. She's been through things that I have not. We're different ethnicities, we're different um physically, and we have different ideas of what we want. And I just love being in her presence because she has an awesome vibe, awesome spirit. I told her that yesterday because I see, I can say what I believe that may be going on with her, or she could tell me which things going on with me and my ideas. And it makes me think, okay, okay, I can see how someone else would think that way, right? But so I love being on there with them. Hey guys, I am dual streaming. But so if you guys see me, I am dual streaming, just saying hi to my peoples up there. But I do really, really say, if you're going to be a person seeking a relationship, because we were talking about those men out here looking for women outside of the US, and we were saying, is there a fantasy out here? And she did say it was capped for me. She said that it was capped, that this fairy tale, that if you want certain requirements of a partner, that they should fit into these requirements. And if they go outside of those requirements, then you shouldn't feel bad about saying, no, I'm not going to stay with someone in an unhappy relationship because they no longer are the person I met. Or if they gained weight, or if the presentation was that you had started off with a job and then later on you don't have a job, and you haven't had a job in 8 months. Like she was saying, like, I'm not going to carry you. I've done that. I've built men up. And so a lot of what she's saying, I do agree with in certain aspects. And so what I was saying was, on my end, I was rebuttaling and saying there is unconditional love, but most relationships are conditional love. Hey there. And the thing is that there's nothing wrong with having conditional love, and there's nothing wrong with having unconditional love. But most people who are looking for conditional love somehow get lost, and then at some point they think it should be unconditional. And you can't switch, because the condition is that you're living by the condition. If you switch it up, then you are outside the condition, and then that no longer functions well. So I do believe there's two kinds of love, and then that you should identify what kind of relationship you are looking for to have a successful relationship. So this is one of those things. So first, you need to identify with yourself. Take a moment and think about if you want a relationship that's conditional or unconditional. And we also want to clarify what conditional and unconditional relationships are. So that's what we're going to do today. Conditional relationships are relationships. I don't think they're bad. I think conditional relationships can be very nice and long-term and work very well. But that's what they are. And so the others, when they see these kind of relationships, to judge them according to that. If you're judging, I don't think you should, but if you're looking at someone's relationship and maybe you're trying to give them advice, or they're coming to you, be able to come to them with the correct information. And most of the time it's based on, well, what kind of relationship are you in? And that is a real big issue with people identifying, because me as a poly person, I don't want to go to someone who's monogamous and ask for advice if I know their advice would be monogamous, because they are not in the same relationship or mindset I'm in. So their information and their help will not be helpful, because it's pertaining to a relationship that doesn't have anything to what they're doing. Okay, if that makes sense. So they're going to give me advice in a monogamous mind, and I am in a poly mind, and my relationship is poly. So if you go to a monogamous person, that's why people who are poly, we try to stress, go to a poly therapist. If you're having issues in your relationship, go to a poly therapist or someone who's in poly or transitional relationships, because what happens is they're going to view it and give you information based on what your goals are and where you are. If you talk to someone who's monogamous, they're going to explain to you why this relationship does not work based on the fact that it doesn't fit the guidelines of being monogamous, which makes sense, because that's what they were shown to do. That's what they went to school for, is only really about monogamy. And if you're outside of that, then something may be wrong. And so you have to find that information based on where you are and the structure. So that you're following. So when we were talking about that, that brought up the topic today. So first thing, make in your mind, what are you looking for? Is it conditional? Don't feel bad if you want conditional relationships. Is it unconditional? Unconditional, just remember that unconditional does not mean that people are allowed to treat you and do anything they want to do to you. Separate thing. So let's talk about the first one. This may be a little bit longer video than 20 minutes. So if you're in I like to write things down. It helps me talk. So conditional, okay? Conditional relationships. Okay, if you decide, hey, I think I want conditions in my relationship, what I mean is that I would like to, and I'm trying not to make anyone feel bad about this. When you're in a conditional relationship, you have more control over what takes place in that relationship and what that looks like. So let's say you want a conditional relationship and you want, okay, I want a man who is going to have I'm going to use Jen's because that's just when I get it from yesterday. But okay, I don't want you to have, I want you to, have good abs, with some abs. I want you to be fit. I want you to, have a nice car. I want you to be able to take me out to dinner twice a month to a restaurant of my choosing. Okay, so maybe at least $200-300 dinner. Okay, I want you to come home and have special time with me, maybe for an hour or two after work. Okay, and I want to have consistent contact with you throughout the day if I feel so that I need it. Okay, those are things you want in your conditional relationship. So with those conditions, you're going to seek out that person with those conditions, right? So this is where it sings up. If someone goes and they have an injury and they gain weight, they are breaking the condition. And now, as Jen says, you're not their mom. You don't want to tell them they've gaining weight. I mean, you should probably already be aware you're gaining weight, especially if it's over 10 pounds. You probably got to notice. Physically, especially if you're older, and you're probably going to see it. So you're going to know, these pants aren't fitting right. This shirt ain't fitting the same. I don't look the same. You may be aware of that. So then just make a check mark. So what I was saying, when you're in these conditional relationships, first off, if you decide you want this conditional relationship, also know that there has to be a list that's made. And if you wanted an unconditional relationship, same thing. The list that should be made is a list of things you want, need, and you want something you want from a relationship, you need from a relationship, and what you can give in a relationship. Those are the three things you need to worry about. So I will say that. So we'll keep saying it. Want, need, and give. Those are the things you should really list down. Okay. Once you get that down, you're going to say, okay, these are things I want, need, and those are the conditions. Okay. But this is the difference. When you're in an unconditional relationship, you still will have. Now then, that's when everyone says most relationships are conditional. You will have these, but most of the time we say they're standards. But I think in the conditional relationship, it's not condition, it's still standards. Because if you're an unconditional, some of these could change to some degree, but there's a line. Okay, so back to conditional. We want to keep it on the same pace. It's my ADHD, I'm all over. So in a conditional relationship, first thing you should do is make a list of want, need, and give, things you can give to others. And then you're going to write those down. Okay, then you're going to think about maybe prospects that that can do those things. Okay. Once you do that, you have to write down, you look at those things, because you're going to first off find people who are going to check off parts in that, but not just, they look good right now. No. There are people who have gone through, let's just say women do this and men too, but go through stuff and they'll lose 80 pounds because they were going through a time of depression. They will lose 80 pounds because they were sick and they just lost weight. Or people who gain weight and they may be bigger. So what you're going to look for are things that don't change in a person's personality. And this is where really trying to get down to who people are is so important, and getting to know them for a period of time, which is vetting. So a lot of this comes down to vetting. Once you're vetting a partner, which you're interested in, they check off on some of the list and you're going to vet them. The vet is basically to make sure they're what they said they are. That's what vetting is. You're making sure they're what they are and who they say they're going to be. So what you're going to do, I know I keep saying what you're going to do. If you want somebody who's fit, okay, who just wants to be fit and take care of themselves, you're not going to go look for the guy who looks thin, who goes to the bar every week and drinks like a sailor. That might be genetics that's keeping it up, and genetics may start falling apart later. You're not going to want him. You're going to look for the guy who has a routine, who maybe find people in that area. I want somebody who's healthy. Go look for people who maybe might possibly be into the military. Go to a gym. This is what you're looking for. Go to places where men are doing these activities that will help them on their own too. Put that out there, on their own, because you want them to be able to maintain this by themselves. It's not conditional. Get what I'm trying to say? You want to find someone who's already doing these things because they want to for themselves. They want to be healthy. They want to look a certain way. They want that for themselves. That's their standard for themselves. Then you will be able to find people who are going to be in that conditional relationship, who are going to be able to meet the conditions without any real hardship. They're not going to have to go, I have to diet every week because he's not going to like me. Or no, you don't have to do that, because you already know that that's part of their DNA. There's part of their personality, their DNA. That's going to work. So what you're going to do is really look for those aspects. You want somebody to look good and be healthy. You don't go to the woman who loves to eat out 3 days a week. She doesn't go outside and work out. She stays in the house. She's always on the phone. Even if she looks okay at that current moment, that may just be the moment. That kind of, everyone knows inactivity at some point will be the part that's going to have you gain weight. If you're not seeing, she's not active. She's not interested in those things you're interested in. She's not interested in finding out new things. These are things you should be looking at. The consistency of what they're doing alone on their daily basis. Those are things you should look at. And I will tell you one of the tricks that I do, and I don't mean a trick like I'm trying to trick you into doing something, to really, really get down to the meat and bones of a situation is, when I vet, a lot of times I incorporate the person in my daily routine and be part of their daily routine visually. And what I mean by we have so much access with videos and all those things, what I do is I'll be on the phone, video chat a lot. I interact in that. I'll have people go into my lives, in my YouTubes, because I want them to see this is part of my everyday. Are you okay with seeing me every day, seeing people leave comments that are maybe very heightened, could be maybe possibly very sexual? Are you okay with that? Can you handle a man saying something that may be on the verge of inappropriate and saying that I'm not really bothered by it, but I'm listening to it? Or if I accept it or giggle, is that going to bother you? I put them in a situation where I can see if this is something that they can handle or not, or if something that can be worked on, because I want to know those things for long term. So vetting is a big part of any relationship. And then if you want it to be conditional, that's where you'll check if those people are meeting those requirements. So there's nothing wrong with having conditional relationships. There's nothing wrong with saying you want something from your partner and that you need it as a need. There's nothing wrong with that. My thing is, if you're going to go the other side, I say, don't think there's not unconditional love, in which I want to make a video about that. But unconditional love is the same thing. So I tell people I love unconditionally because I do. And they'll ask me, well, it has to be conditions. There's no conditions. What I mean by that is, I'm not even going to date you. We're going to have a vet, because I have a vet before I even commit to you. There's no commitment. At that point, we're just talking or whatever. And then there's a commitment stage. Before I commit to actually bring you into my pot, into my real situation, there's a vetting process. Okay. In that vetting process, I am going to find out if you are meeting all the standards that I've set for my relationships, and that will melt good with what fits for me and maybe my pod if that's the case. So, for example, myself, um, I, two things standards that I really have is someone who enjoys children, who enjoys interacting with them, and really cares for kids. That's one thing. That's a real big one. I need that. Then the second one is someone who is self-motivated. So I like self-motivation. Okay, the second part. So those two things are my standards. I have some other ones, but these are the big ones. I would not even get into a committed relationship with you because I vetted you where I had that issue. So I'm going to probably be with are going to hit that point blank because those are things I need. I need those for us to work. That's what I need. But it's not really based on physical appearance because I know physical will die, physical will change. Now, what they say, well, you just date somebody. Now, people say, oh, well, this guy's ugly, not take care of himself. That's personal hygiene. That is a personality and the thing they're doing. You cannot look that attractive, but you can take very good care of yourself. You can look. I've seen lots of men that I thought were not attractive, but they have muscles, six packs. I'm like, oh, they're not that attractive because I'm just not attracted to the way their face looks. It doesn't mean that, oh, I don't want them. I'm not going to date someone just because they have a six pack. If I don't like something about you, or I'm kind of like, I'm not that attracted to you, it's not a no-go. It's not a no-go for me. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like I'm looking at it like, okay, no, whatever. Am I going to die? No, because looks don't mean that much to me. But there are some women who need that. They want their husband to look a certain way for whatever that is. Whatever, you got to find out what that reason is. Some women need that because they want someone to know that they have caught somebody who looks good and all that. And like I said, not everybody's meant for everybody. If you've heard me say that before, there are some women who are not supposed to be with someone who looks really, really good, who's very attractive. Some people think who's wherever attractive to you or whatever's going on in the mindset of the community that time. So people like bright eyes, light skin, some like dark skin, real cute face, tall. Okay, some of y'all ain't meant to be with them because you can't handle the attention that they get. And they can't control the attention that they get. And so some people don't belong with people who get that. Some people don't belong with people who are in the limelight. They have no business with someone in the limelight. They will just make your life horrible because they don't like that they feel like they're competing. And that could be some damage behind, and all of us have different damage issues, but some people have been very damaged by people who can't commit, who are cheating, or people who are flirting too much. It makes them feel insecure. And people who do that, or people who are in that limelight, they tend to be that way. So why do you seek them out? Why are we seeking out people who are going to trigger your insecurities? Why do you want to be with people who make you feel that way? You can say, I like the way he looks. He's so cute. He's going to be all mine. But at the end of the day, now you don't want him to go outside. Now you don't want her to go anywhere because she's too cute. She's got to throw on his long shirt. She got to put on these long pants. Why? Why does she have to hide normal things about herself? And then, like I said, there's these extremities that people kind of battle with. Not everybody who has a body and likes to, wear certain clothes or not wear certain clothes, or just like to be nudist or whatever, or walk around a certain way, means that they're hot in the pants. It does not mean that. And we got to stop saying that's what it is. Okay. Some people they look attractive. They have no control over that. And why are we holding them that there's something wrong with someone being attracted to them? It's like this catch-22. You want the person who looks good, but you don't want what comes with it. You want the person who has a great job and a lot of money, but you don't want what comes with that, which is they may not be home. They work late nights. But now you're insecure because you may be one of those people who don't belong with them because you don't have any activities. You need a lot of attention. You have no business with that kind of person because you're not getting what you want, what you need, and what you can't give them what they need, which is peace. Sometimes it's peace because you're so concerned with them that you've given them a reason to be heightened. Because now they're like, oh, every time I come home, they're always saying I'm doing something and I'm not. And it's you're putting your partner in a state of unease. So, like I said, we can. What I like to do usually, because I hate kind of just talking in general with these, because it does tend to change person to person, or what the antidote is, or why you're doing something. But this is why we need to identify these behaviors and find out what the real root is, and then try to work on those issues that you're having. Because a lot of times it's just you're just being triggered by the thought of losing a partner, or you're being triggered because you don't, yeah, you're basically losing a partner. People say at the end of the day, it's what it comes down to. You're going to lose this person. You're going to lose what you want. And it's triggering you. And the triggers make you do behaviors that you don't want to do or you don't normally do. And you'll lose them because at the end of the day, that's not who you're really supposed to be with. And it's nothing about you. If they just not a good match. So you want to find good match. So make your list, what you want, need, and can give. I've made another video about want, needs, and can give. I will probably make another one, but I just wanted to share that with you guys because I think making those lists, finding out if you really want something conditional or not conditional, is very important to find the partner that's for you. Vetting your partner. Vetting is a very big part. I think a lot of people don't realize how important vetting is. You can make the vetting time up yourself if you're monogamous, obviously. You can make it longer. Some people want to vet 90 days. I don't think there's a time for vetting. I think find out what you're vetting for. Everyone's different. So you need to kind of, create your own vetting policy, which I have done. And it changes. Because I'm poly, obviously I will date more. I have to make changes sometimes, a lot more than other people do. But even if you're monogamous, you can still make changes in that policy. You can make exceptions to those policies. Find out, about yourself is a big thing. Self-explore what's important to you. I mean, I had someone tell me, what did they tell me? Okay, so I was at a restaurant and one of my coworkers, I used to talk to her a lot, but then she'd leave. She's like, you seem like you need you like people to talk to you, like or people who are consistently talking to you. I think you have separation anxiety, because she would leave some days and come back and not work on certain days, and it would freak me out. I'm like, where the hell are you? You still give anxiety. I'm like, I do, because I don't like that. Don't like it. I'm like, because when I come here, I expect you to be here and us to do what we do. And if you're moving all over the restaurant, if they didn't put you in section 8 and I need you in section 2, this is an issue for me, because I need this train to function right. And I think that's where, yeah, I do. I don't think it's real bad anxiety, but I definitely am like, Like sometimes I'll have quiet moments myself of anxiety, where I'm just like, I have self-panicking moments that I contain very well. Then I have outbursts. So either way, we're winning over here. I'm going to give you all you need. But I do think you should really think about those things, what you want, need, and can give. Make your list. Find out if you want a conditional relationship or not. If you want an unconditional relationship, which I think people should aim for an unconditional relationship, it's not unattainable. It's not a fairy tale. But I will say, you have to really do a lot of healing. And I'm not trying to say all people who are in conditional relationships aren't healed. Some people are just tired of BS and they don't want to longer do that anymore. They're tired of being the one to do all these things, and they're at a point they don't want to do it anymore. And they need a conditional relationship because they don't want to try the other way any longer. And it's acceptable. Do I think you should work on it? Maybe possibly, but I don't think it's wrong if you do it properly. Absolutely not. There's nothing wrong with that. And especially if it makes you happy and it makes the other person happy. I think that's something that's very, very positive you can do and find. I don't think anything's wrong with that. But if you want something unconditional, okay, you have to do a lot of healing. I will say if you've been damaged, you need to do a lot of conversations with yourself about what it really means to have a relationship with someone based on other attributes that aren't business and money. And you also, because we don't want to be taken advantage of, red flag here, you also want to know your lines and boundaries. Because even though you're unconditional, you still have boundaries. And this is a big one. I want to throw that out there because we want to talk about health, mental health, abuse, mental abuse. You're just because you love someone unconditionally, you're not going to allow them to tear you down. And someone who you want to be in an unconditional relationship with, they should not be tearing you down. And if someone is tearing you down and hurting you, even if you love them, you remove them, if that makes sense. Because they no longer are loving you the proper way and they're out to hurt you. So that's removing them. And you can still love them and not be with them. You can still care for them and not be in your presence because they're toxic, because they're manipulative, and you can remove them. But doing that still doesn't change your love for them. Doing that doesn't mean you can't say, you know what, I care about what happened to them, but I'm not going to help you or assist you in damaging yourself or myself. And there is a line, and you do make that line of what's too much. What's too much help? Am I hurting you by helping you? These are things you think about. You know, people who have drug habits, and then you're with them. You know, you want them to know, hey, I understand this. Let's think of alternatives. It's more of a compromise than unconditional. It's more of a compromise. Maybe not compromise, not the word. A conversation. A let's work on this together. And we're going to use the weight thing again, like I said, just because it's fresh in my mind. If I'm like, you know what, I don't mind if you gain a little bit of weight, if you go up and down, okay. And I've been in relationships like this. And someone got carried away. I would say, hey, this isn't going well. This is very unhealthy. You're at a size where you could die. And now this is making me feel very uncomfortable. I don't like to watch you in pain. I don't want to see you hurt. And if that's something you want to continue to do, I can't watch you do that, because that also hurts me. There's a line, okay? And having the conversation about that line. And you can say, you know, and that's when, you know, you say, oh, well, I'm not their mother. And I understand that point of view too, because some people don't want to do that. But if I'm really in this unconditionally, I'm going to try to help you be positive, but I'm also not going to over assist you. I will let you know, hey, listen, I really have some concerns about your weight. This is not a good place for you. I don't want you to keep hurting. I don't like watching you like this. This is not something I can continue to do. Are you going to leave me? I'm not going to just walk off and leave you, but I will tell you that if you're trying to hurt yourself and consistently keep doing what you're doing because these habits you're doing weren't here before, then that may be something I have to do because it's hurting me. I think that's okay to say. But if it's like, okay, listen, let's go walking together. Let's make it an activity. You know, let's go axe throwing. Let's go bowling. Let's do these things. Now that's just showing that you're just supportive. Hey, here's another thing. If you don't want to do it, you think they should take care of yourself. Hey, I saw they got this program over here. I don't know if you're interested. Now, guys, I know when you guys talk about women's weight, they can get very touchy. There's always a way to do things. A lot of time people are just, it's the way you're coming at it. If you need to talk to somebody how to come to someone about something, you need to do that. And not everyone's going to receive and take things all the same way. So you need to have a conversation with someone about how to approach someone and get maybe one or two options of doing that. And make sure your partner's in that safe place we talk about. Bring your person to a safe place, a calm place prior to going into that kind of stuff, because what you're going to do is set them into a state of anxiety, worry, and stress. And what you want to do is bring all that down and tell them the real causes. Oh, it's not because you're just getting out of weight, you're just out of weight. But the real issue is that you're watching them barely be able to walk, barely get into a car. You're watching them not be able to, to do the activities they used to do. And you're watching them having breathing apnea. You're watching them have to get, these things happen to them. You're watching them have to get on medications. I don't want to see you on 52 medicines. I don't want to watch you die. No. So I think there is a line, even in unconditional love, that you're still going to take the initiative to talk to your partner. You're going to take the initiative to do that. And some people don't like that. And I understand why some people would like, hey, listen, I'm not your mom and all that. But the thing is, I think letting someone be aware of what's going on, aware of your concerns, is not being a mother. It's being a concerned partner. I'm concerned for your safety, for your health. There's lots of things that I've done and not realized that it was affecting others, or maybe how I was being viewed. And I took that in consideration when I was told, that I didn't take it to heart or be mad, because I knew that the intent of the conversation was to be helpful. And so when you have a partner that you're with, you should know that you should always go by their intent. And you can talk to them, say, hey, the way you talk to me, I may not like it. Can you say it a different way? And it's not, and that's what I said. When you're vetting, you should know that, hey, when they get mad, they talk kind of crazy. And I don't really like that. So you wouldn't even be in a relationship with them, because you already vetted them. So this is where I'm getting at with the vetting. All these other issues come in because you're not vetting well enough. You don't know what you're looking for when you're vetting. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing. You don't know if you want a conditional love or unconditional. And then you're mixing the two, because you cannot be in a conditional relationship and an unconditional relationship at the same time. That doesn't make sense. And if you're that kind of person who works well with certain conditions or not certain conditions, you need to know that. And that regardless if you're monogamous or poly. Now, poly, obviously, we're in a different realm. Poly people are in a different realm. And not to say, I think people get the misconception that poly means that, okay, if I don't like all the stuff you do, you can continue to do that, but I'll go over here and find someone else who does the stuff I do like them to do. That is not what we're doing. That's not a true poly person. I like you as a whole person. I could date you individually. And those are the questions you should ask yourself. Can I be with you alone? That's just really what the hell it is. Can I be with you alone? Or do I need another person to make a whole person? And that's, what my partner, well, not one of them, my partners do say that was a lot of their concern, is that, and I'm sure it pops up because they're monogamous transitional partners. If you are with someone and then they continue to add other partners or they get new people, the first thing in your mind is, am I not doing something right? Am I not enough? The thing I hear a lot is, am I, I just don't know how I feel about myself in this situation because it makes me feel a certain way. And I get it. And I get it. But to know a real poly person who you're dating is really important, because at the end of the day, I might just date because I want to go on a date with someone. Now that's where we made the distinction, and I will let you guys in on my own little personal things. So there are people that I just kind of just go out on a date with here and there. They may not even be consistent. Maybe just once in a while I'll go on a date with some people. This can trigger my other partners to think, but we've gotten to the point now that we know if it's to the commitment stage, that is something that we could have a conversation about. But most of the time it's just, okay, well, I'm not going to go to date. See, we kind of, this guy seems very interested in me. He asked me out, or, I'm interested in going to hang out with him. The commitment thing, that takes place after vetting. It's a process. And so that doesn't happen right away. And some people's vetting is a little bit shorter, I will be honest. And some are longer. And I just want to have good relationships and bonds with people that I'm with, because if they're going to be part of my fully committed partners who are long term, that has to be something that I have to be sure they're committed to, because there's a lot of boundaries I have also set personally, that I have, um, which make it that way, so that, especially people with children, I have children, I make it that, hey, my kids aren't going to see people run in and out. Because that causes issues with feeling like you're not good enough. Like, why are people keep running in and out of my life? They'll be nice to me, and then one day be here and then they run away. You do not want your children to feel like they are not good enough. Why aren't they worthy of the relationships that people have started with them, and then they just throw them away? Those are things I don't want my children to be exposed to. So a lot of times, if I am vetting, you probably won't meet them at first, or if you meet them, it'll be in a friendship setting. And since I'm poly, it's a lot easier. I'm just being honest, it's easier to hide the extent of a relationship per se, because even if they're new, they could just be friends. I'm very open, have lots of friends. So at this point, it's not like people just running around, rubbing up on me and stuff. No. So the idea of that is just not realistic. But, if you want to come over, hang out, or we have a barbecue or something, you're interacting with my partners, you interact with me, and you're seeing what that life looks like. So there are things that I do, if it comes to that. And that would be maybe a starting process of maybe seeing how things are. But usually you would not meet them in the context of we're dating or we're together. Now I might say I'm going to go on a date to my children, but I can go on a date with anyone. So we've made that different. Hi there. So absolutely wanted to give you guys this little bit of information. I'm going to hit up this website, and I'm going to get this damn link to the podcast I was on last night. Guys, this show I'm going to be filming for is coming up soon, mid-October. I'm really excited. I don't know how I will stream. Hopefully, since I won't be working, I can stream more and get a lot more videos done. So I'm going to be productive. And with my cleaning company, I'm going to try to work on getting that all set up too, because I just can't wait to do this. And also, one of my partners is kind of going through a transition. I don't know what, personally. So I don't know where he wants to do in his life personally with some things. But when you give them time and space to find that out. But when he does find that out, I definitely would love him to be part of this bigger plan, because I have a mission, and I told him, I said, I'm gonna get it, and and I'm getting it. That's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? So we are all going to be working together. You guys are going to see the different things. My dynamic may even change a little bit. You guys know I'm open to different dynamics. So it could be a quad, maybe a quad, or I would still be polyandry. So just maybe another partner. It's going to be something very interesting. But I don't want to give out too much of how I feel right now. But I definitely will share more of it with you guys. It's going to be a lot different because it's the person that I was in the show with. I will be honest, like me have been very, very low key, publicly on purpose, because we stream a lot. And so this is something that will change that. So we also want us to be prepared for that and what will come with that. So it's a lot to think about, but I'm very, very excited. And I'm excited for you guys to share the experience with me and show you more of what, poly looks like, and in my situation, and being able to show you how I vet, which this particular relationship has been going on for a while, but how I vet, and how things can stop and go and it still be okay. Poly just allows for a lot more room to be a person who's still growing and still have relationships of value. And I love that has afforded me the opportunity to meet the right people at the right time. And sometimes it's not the right time. And sometimes it's only supposed to be for a moment. And I hope that I touch their lives and make them better people, so that when they go to the next relationship, they have a different mindset or more open emotions or whatever they need to give that person the best relationship. And even if it's sad that they're gone sometimes, it's not the end of the world. And I'm happy for them to be happy. And that's where I am as a person. So I definitely want to share that. So you guys check that out. It's going to be on OTV. So like I'll give you more information about it later, but I definitely want to share that with you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe. You guys know, please subscribe and let me know about how you feel about this content today. And then we're going to go from here, and hopefully October comes around because I have a little Halloween thing. If you don't know me, I love holidays. I love cosplay, and Halloween just allows me to be great in all aspects. So I absolutely want to do some theme stuff with that. Hopefully I can film. I mean, maybe not everything, but hopefully I can stream and make some videos because I just don't know what to do without that. That would be upsetting. I don't know. But I'll leave you guys with that. Be great and positive in your relationships. If you guys have anything you want to add, or if you want to talk to me personally, you guys know I'm Miss Polly Wright on all forms, platforms, Instagram and all. Hit me up if you would like a personal consultation. I do those. I do a cost of them. Sometimes if it depends on the situation, we'll give you an entry start and then free. And then we'll do, if you want to set up a plan with me, we'll do that. I set up my website, which I kind of keep going back and forth because I want to get some good clientele coming in first. But with everything going on, as you can tell, I'm a very busy woman. So be patient with me. I will get to you. And if not, you know what I'm saying? Keep yelling at me. Come on the streams, talk to me, get my attention. And I'll look. So you guys have a great day. Bye.